Welcome back to the Financial Freedom Show. My name is Rob Berger. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can improve your credit score in just 5 minutes. Yeah, I know that sounds like a scam, doesn't it? I kind of feel yucky even saying it. How absurd. And most of the time, yeah, I would say that's ridiculous. Don't click on the ad on the internet. No, tell your parents they can't increase their credit score in 5 minutes. It's just not how it works. Most of the time it doesn't, but actually there is sort of a legitimate way to increase your credit score almost instantly. And I'm going to walk through how to do it. There are, of course, some limitations. There are no free lunches in this world. And so while you can increase your credit score very quickly, there are a lot of things you need to know about how to do it and the limitations. But the good news is the process I'm going to walk through can't hurt your credit score, and it's totally free. So I guess it's got that going for it. What am I talking about? It's called Experian Boost. You've probably seen it advertised. And I decided to dig into the details of this. I've been covering credit scores since 2007. I've written about it for Forbes on my own site. And one of the things I've learned is that yes, you can improve your credit score, but it usually takes time. I would say generally 3 to 6 months to start seeing improvement of your score in any meaningful sense. And then along comes this Experian Boost thing and says, hey, we're going to do it for you literally instantly. Now, I want to tell you up front, I tried to do this myself and ran into some issues. I will talk about that in this video as well. So to begin with, let's put Experian Boost into some context. Historically, there are 5 things that affect your credit score. The most important one is what's called payment history. That accounts for 35% of your FICO score. And all that means is, do you pay your debts on time? Do you pay your credit card bills on time, your car loan, your student loan, your mortgage? Or are you late? Are you even perhaps months behind? Have you ever defaulted on a loan? That is the single most important factor that goes into your credit score. Now, it's not the only one. FICO also looks at something called credit utilization. That is, of all of the available credit you have, how much of it are you actually using? And it looks at credit history as another one. That becomes important with Credit Boost, as we'll see in a minute. But the focus is your payment history. Now, here's the deal. What counts towards your payment history is how you handle your debts, your loans. Again, credit cards, student loans, car loans, personal loans, mortgages. What historically has not counted is the payments you make every single month on things like your gas bill and your electric bill and maybe Netflix and your cell phone bill. Those sorts of things have not counted towards your credit score. So you could have been perfect on all of those bills, had some trouble on a credit card, and your credit score gets dinged, and all of the on-time payments for all of those other monthly bills didn't help you out at all. What Experian Boost does is it changes that. It says, look, you should get credit for these types of payments that you're making every single month. And that's what Experian Boost does. It gives you credit for those payments. Now, it actually does 2 things. It can show those on-time payments, so that 35% of payment history that helps your FICO score. It can boost that part of the formula. The other thing it can do, though, is it can add to your credit history, which is another factor that goes into your FICO score. Let me make sure I've got this right. Yeah, it's 15% of your score. That's length of credit history. And so the idea being the longer you've shown responsible use of credit, the better. If you have a very short credit history, it can hurt your score a bit. And so if you add all of these utility bills and cell phone bills and internet bills that you've been paying, if you've been paying them for a long period of time, it can actually improve the length of your credit history as well. So that was the idea behind Credit Boost. Now, how does it actually work? So the first thing is you have to have a credit file to begin with. So you have to have some sort of loan, credit card, debt, something that has generated a credit report for you with Experian. That's what they need to connect your utility bills to. So you have to have an existing credit file. That's the first thing. The second thing is these utility bills and, again, Netflix or cable and internet types of bills, phone bills, you have to have 3 months of history. They won't look at them if you've only got 1 or 2 months. Of course, if that's you just have to wait another month or 2 and you'll have your 3 months. But they only look at these payments if you've paid them for at least 3 months. Now, so that's sort of how it works. Now, the question is, how do you actually make this happen? And this is where I ran into some trouble today. So let me first, I'm going to tell you how you do it. Then I'm going to tell you the problems I ran into. And then we'll look at some limitations and also actually how this will help your score. How many points are we talking about? So in theory, the process is very easy. You simply either log into your Experian account, or if you don't have one, you can create one for free. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can do that. And here's how it works. You connect the bank account. It could be a checking account or a savings account that you use to pay all of these bills with. Now, let's stop there for a second. If you're like me, a lot of these bills get paid with a credit card. If that's the case, those payments don't count towards Experian Boost. That's the bad news. But the good news is the payment on the credit card will improve. If you're making the payments on time, will improve your credit score. So in that sense, it doesn't much matter. Experian Boost focuses on payments you're making from a checking account or a savings account. So here's how it works. You actually log in to Experian, and you can connect Experian to your checking account or savings account, and you can do this with multiple accounts if you use multiple accounts to pay your bills. And what it'll do is scan that account and find eligible payments that you've made. Now, they have to be directly to the provider, directly to the gas company or the cell phone bill. You know, if you're sending money over to, say, a roommate who then in turn pays, say, the cable bill, that's not going to work. It's got to be paid directly to the provider. So it'll scan all of those providers and then show you a list. And they'll say, okay, here's what we've found. Which ones do you want us to include? You can actually choose to exclude some if you want to. Now, the good news is, let's say you've been late on a lot of payments. It's not going to hurt your credit score. So you don't have to worry about that. But you get to choose which of these payments you want to include in Experian Boost. And then it does its magic and shows you the results. It's literally a 5-minute process when it works. So I had this big plan for this video today. I was going to do this. I was going to do a screen share to show you, and it was a big fail. Here's what happened. I logged into Experian, and I do have an account there. And my credit score, I'm actually looking at it now, it's 806. So one of my theories was Experian Boost might not help me a lot. I've got like 25 years of credit history, a really good credit score, but it would be interesting to find out. And so I logged in to Experian, signed up for Boost, and they wanted me to connect my accounts, which are at Citibank. And so put in the username and password. It's all secure. They did a 2-factor authentication, and big time fail. Citibank just is not cooperating with Experian. I have no idea why. What Experian says to do is I need to log into my Citibank account and enable third-party apps. Yeah, I have no earthly idea how to do that. I'm not even sure I can. If I ever figure that out and I can show you this, I'll do another video. But then I thought, well, wait a minute. Maybe the problem isn't Citibank. I mean, maybe I'm just being unfair to poor old Citibank. I mean, maybe it's Experian. Maybe they're the chuckleheads who can't get this thing working. And so I thought, I'm going to connect a different account. And I connected one at Bank of America. Now, unfortunately, that account has all of $25 in it, and I've never paid a bill with that account. So I knew it wouldn't help with Experian Boost, but I just wanted to see, can I connect the account? Well, of course, worked like a charm. Connected it immediately. There it is. And then, of course, Experian Boost analyzed the account, and they said, Rob, what are you doing, buddy? There's, no payments in this account. This won't help you. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure it out. So then I did what I think you might do. I went to Google and I started searching. Why doesn't Citibank work with Experian Boost? Found a thread on Reddit, and it turns out a lot of banks have problems connecting with Experian Boost. Apparently not at Bank of America. So if you bank there, you're golden. All I can say is you give it a try. It's like 3 minutes out of your day. If you're trying to increase your credit score, I think it's worth a shot. It didn't work for me. I'll try again later and we'll see what I can figure out, but it might work for you. Now, having said all of that, there are a couple of limitations you need to keep in mind. The first is it improves your FICO 8 score, and that's it. It doesn't improve any other credit score. And you might be saying, okay, I know what FICO is. What's that whole 8 thing? Well, FICO has versions, right? And in fact, FICO 8 isn't even the latest version. So as they improve their credit score over time, they give it a version number. Now, the good news is a lot of lenders use FICO 8. It's a very, I think, common, frequently used credit score in lending. So that's the good news, but I do want to point that out. There's no guarantee that when you apply for credit, your lender is going to use a FICO 8 score. So that's the first limitation. The second limitation, I think this is probably more specific. It, of course, only helps you when someone is pulling your FICO 8 score based on Experian data, based on your credit report at Experian. If they pull it based on Equifax or TransUnion, it ain't going to help you. So there are some limitations here that are pretty important. That being said, again, it's free. It can't hurt your score. It can only help it, well, if you can connect your bank account. So I think it's probably worth the effort if you're trying to improve your score. Now, that raises a big question, and that is, how much is it going to help? Well, of course, there's no one answer to that. For you, it may not help at all. It may help a few points. The average, according to Experian, is an improvement of about 13 points. I've seen some as low as just a single point, and some actually see an improvement significantly above 13 points. So it is going to vary. But here's the thing I want to stress, and this is particularly true if you're getting a mortgage or refinancing a mortgage. 10 points can make a big difference. I mean, even small changes in the interest rates you pay on a long-term loan like a mortgage that is, for most of us, the largest loan we'll ever take out, even 10 basis points can make a huge difference over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years of a mortgage. So it's absolutely worth trying, particularly if you're going to be applying for a mortgage or refinancing your home loan. So there you go. That's Experian Boost. That's my experience with it, which is, well, kind of a big fail, but I tried. If you've had success and it's improved your score, I'd love to hear about it. Leave it in the comments below. And of course, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I will do my absolute best to help you out any way I can. Until next time, remember, the best thing money can buy is financial freedom.